The racing Postcast in association with Paddy Power. They pay more extra places than any other bookie.
Racing Post Monday Review Postcast. My name's Nick Watson. Joining me today, I've got Mr. Pricewise, Tom Seagal, the soon-to-be returning Sam Twiston-Davis, and from our sponsors, Paddy Power, Mr. Paul Binfield. Good day, fellas.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Nick.
Good afternoon, experts.
Now, Sam, I'll start with you. We hear you've been to Ditcheat this morning. Obviously, you're coming back soon as well. Were you riding anything of note? What happened at Ditcheat this morning?
Yeah, obviously we usually school on a Monday, but obviously with the weather, the minute we didn't actually. But I rode Adrian Dupont and Le Prezienne, and both were in good form. Just did a couple of canters.
Yeah, Le Prezienne, he won at Cheltenham last time. He's one of the more very promising horses of Paul's down there. He's come out of the race well, has he?
Yeah, he seems in good form. He just did a kind of a standard 2 canters. But look, it's one of those, he seems in good nick, and he won nicely at Cheltenham, and hopefully going forward there's more big
It's not
races.
your ride though, Sam, is it? You don't care what happens to Le Prezienne?
No, but hey, part of the team at the end of the day, you know, should be happy for them to do well.
Now,
It used to be my ride, mate.
If we're going to go back to last weekend, there's only one place to start, and that's, of course, the Betfair Chase at Haydock. Tom, going into the race, were you of the opinion that Q-Card was going to bounce back? Did he surprise you? Did it work out how you thought it would do?
I don't know, really. Yeah, he's a brilliant horse, isn't he? You know what? I don't know what to say. I mean, he's incredible the way he's come back. I don't know how Nichols and Tizard do it. They keep bringing back these old horses time after time after time. It's incredible. And I don't know if Joe Tizard, you know, he learnt from being down at Paul's. I don't know what they're doing at the Tizards, but it's fantastic to see him back. And he was in brilliant form, wasn't he? And looking forward to the King George. What's going to beat him?
Well, that's the next question. If Coney Gree and Q-Card both lined up at Kempton, which way would you be siding if it was just a match between the two of them?
Oh, blimey, 1-10 Q-Card. I wouldn't back Coney Gree to beat him ever, and I certainly wouldn't back him to beat him after a hard race like that second time up.
Go on, give us the reasons then. What puts you off Coney Gree?
I think he got thrashed, didn't he? And he would have been fit on Saturday, and I hate backing horses second time up after a long break who would have had a really hard race. He must have gone through the pain barrier. Love Coney Gree, but he'll never beat Q-Card.
And Sam, what do you think? Are you of the same opinion, or do you think Coney Gree could get the better of him?
No, I was very, very impressed by Q-Card. Loved the way he jumped and travelled throughout the race. And like you say, Q-Card looked to just be a superior horse on the day. Obviously, it's a different race again in the fact you're Kempton, a bit more of a speed track. Not really too sure at this moment in time what the ground will be like, but even so, I think Q-Card looked very, very good. And going forward, it's a great effort by, obviously, the Tizard team to get him back to the form after what looks quite a laboured run, really, at Wetherby.
So, Paul from Paddy Power, we're looking forward to the King George now. First of all, give us a show of betting. How does the market see the race at the moment?
Well, we've got Q-Card in at 6-4, Nick. Coney Gree at 5-1, 8-1 Valsalido, 10-1 Duvan, Thistle Kraken, Froome Mag, and then 14 Bar.
And what would you fancy for the King George, Paul? Would you be looking at one of these two, or would you be going further afield?
Yeah, I disagree with Tom. I think Coney Gree could well reverse the tables next time. I think it was a magnificent effort on Saturday. Been off for 377 days. The Bradstock said that he hadn't really been on grass. But I'd tell punters not to back him yet because they did talk about the Lexus Chase at Leopardstown. So I would wait on the 5-1 until the Bradstocks give him the green light for Kempton.
And Sam, what might you be riding at Kempton? Dodging Bullets had a bit of a setback at the weekend. Is he okay, by the way? And have you got anything else you could be riding in the King George?
No, obviously it's one of those. Paul will have entries and we'll know a bit closer to the time, but seen Dodging Bullets over the stable door this morning. He looks okay, and I think that was one of the ideas for him, but where they go forward now, because they also have the option of the Peterborough, so as to what he's doing, leave the hard decisions to the boss.
And Tom, now with Q-Card having done what he did on Saturday, does that effectively rule Thistle Crack out of the King George? Presumably he'll go to the Feltham now, wouldn't he?
Yeah, there's no chance he'll run in the King George, is there? I mean, there's no point. After what happened the other day when he was a little bit dodgy, I didn't think he was as bad as people said, but they're not going to run him in the King George now, are they? I think he'll run at Newbury this week. That'll be his 4th run. And as I say, I disagree with Paul about there. I don't give Coneygree a chance. I don't think Val Solido will go. I don't think Duvan will go. Vroom Vroom Mag might run, I suppose, but it's looking pretty weak apart from that. And I think he should be 4-6, not 6-4.
And looking ahead, even further ahead to the Gold Cup next March, Q Card is going to be 11 by then. Do you think he could still be at the top come springtime, or do you see... I don't think an 11-year-old has won it since the 60s, the Gold Cup. Do you think the King George might be his last big hurrah?
No, I give him every chance in the Gold Cup. Why not? I mean, Coneygrie's out. Coneygrie's thrashed him. There's a problem with Don Cossack, obviously. He's a better horse than Jack Adam. The novices from last year, I'm going to ask Sam about this, they keep getting wiped out by the older horses now. I think there's two reasons. I think the older horses are really good. I'm a little bit worried that last year's sort of staying novices weren't as good as, weren't quite up to scratch. I mean, they got wiped out in the Paddy Power. They got
see
beat
you
on
at
Saturday. See you at midnight.
Yeah,
Exactly. So I'm sort of worried about them, and I can't see any young up-and-comer on the block. I think Val Solido's quite interesting, but apart from that, and Thistlecrack, who is there?
Paul, give us if you've got a Gold Cup market handy.
I have indeed, Nick. Yeah, we make Thistlecrack 7-2 favourite. Stable Companion Q Card 6-1. Coneygree, we've seen a few quid for him over the last day or so. 9-1 now from 10-1. Don Cossack on 10s, and also a bit of support for Jack Adam in the last 24 hours. 10-1 from 12s, Nick.
Right, we're going to run to an advert, and afterwards we'll be discussing Yanworth.
Here's Paddy Power's latest horse racing offer. It's money back as a free bet if your horse finishes second to the SP5 in all races at one meeting today. And at one meeting every day this month. Max £25 per race, not available in shops. 18 plus, gambleaware.co.uk.
Well, it was a great day of racing on Saturday. It didn't just take place at Haydock. There was a good card at Ascot as well. Yanworth was the horse we were all looking forward to seeing, and he got the job done. Probably not very impressively. Beat Little Rockefeller by, just under a length. Tom, does that clear up where he should be heading next spring? Should he be dropped back in triple? Should he be given a go at the World Hurdle?
I thought it muddied the waters a bit. I thought he travelled well. I think that race there is always... I think the thing about the Champion Hurdle, Sam will probably be able to help us out here, it's always quite a good staying test. I think you need to stay really well. That's why the Neptune at Cheltenham has been a better trial over the years than the Supreme. It's a big stamina test. I wouldn't rule him out. I think I'm just a bit wary of Yanworth over 3 miles. I think he might have a quirk in him. I thought he tried to run out in the Neptune last year, and I'm just a little bit worried about him.
Sam, what do you think? What does Yanworth look like to you? Does he look like a speed horse or one that needs a real trip?
Well, like I said, I think obviously with the way the Champion Hurdle is run will suit him. They go an honest gallop from start to finish, and you want a horse that actually does stay. The one thing he does have is he's a good traveller, so he gives himself that chance to kind of sit just behind the bridle on leaders' tails and kind of go from there. And you could see him turning in, going well, but then obviously the likes of Annie Power, Faheen, what they'll be doing, like you say, that they're two exceptional horses and they'll be hard to beat, so you can see why they might be tempted by the World Hurdle. Don't think it'd be quite as strong as the Champion Hurdle.
And the long walk, that's the acid test, isn't it, for Yanworth? He's going there next, apparently. That's a real strong staying test. If he comes through that, it's probably cut and dried. But, it does take a bit of getting that long walk hurdle, Sam, doesn't it?
Yeah, like you say, Ascot's a real test of a horse. You've got a good long straight, and then you have plenty of time from the back of the last. So you really will find out if you stay around there.
Sam, can I ask you a quick question? Zarkanda was really disappointing. Is he all right? Is he all right to this morning?
Yeah, I seen him this morning. He popped his head over the door. I wasn't there. I didn't actually. Paul was off to Kempton this morning, so didn't get a chance to really catch up. But he didn't look quite like himself. It was Aintree. He looked like he was back to his normal self. Travelled and jumped great, but maybe it was just one of those backing up a little bit quick, and he'd be better when he's fresher.
There was another clue at Punchestown yesterday, perhaps, for the World Hurdle more than the Champion Hurdle, with Nichols Canyon winning. It's a shame it's so foggy at Punchestown. Couldn't really see very much at all. Tom, was this a case of Willie picking up a few crumbs, seeing as Faheen and Annie Power couldn't run at the weekend, and it wouldn't have much bearing on the Champion Hurdle or maybe the World Hurdle? What do you think of Nichols Canyon? No,
I love Nichols Canyon. I think at the moment he'd be my choice for the World Hurdle, undoubtedly. I can't see him going for the Champion unless something's happened to Faheen or Annie Power, and obviously the jury's out on Annie at the moment because she's, I think she's up, isn't it? There might be something up there because she worked really badly in the week. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I thought he was really good. I thought it was as impressive as he's ever been. Okay, we could only see the last 2 hurdles, but he shot away from the mare, who's really good, giving her lots away. I thought that was as good as I've seen him. I think he's a really good horse. Let's not forget, he was 3rd in the champion last year. He's only beaten 4.5 lengths. And listening to Ruby after the race, he was saying, after he won the Irish champion in terrible ground and had a battle with Identity Thief that day. And after that, neither of them, I thought, showed their proper form afterwards. And I think with that the extra year under his belt, I'm a big fan of Nichols Canyon.
And Paul, where do you stand on the Yanworth debate? And would you also give us a show for the World Hurdle? Did it cause any ripples?
Yeah, I think Yanworth was slightly disappointing visually, but once again, Alan King said the horse hadn't been on grass before the race at home, so maybe it was better than it looked. He'll need to step up on that. Lil Rockefeller is a little bit off the best, I would say, but it bodes well for the future, and you can do no more than win, really, Nick. As far as the World Hurdle goes, we've got him 8-1 from 10-1 now, with Faheen in as 5-2 favourite. Nichols Canyon 6-1 from 8 after an excellent super sub performance at Punchestown yesterday. Thistlecrack and Yanworth on 8, along with Vroom Vroom Mag.
Okay, on what was a fantastic weekend of racing, I want one name and a quick reason why from all three of you on a horse to follow from the weekend. So, Tom, starting with you, what caught your eye? And give us a quick reason why.
Probably went under the radar on Sunday, Sam, but there were a couple of performances at Cork, not Punchestown, that caught my eye. The first maiden hurdle there was won by a lovely horse of Henry de Bromhead's, which I've forgotten its name, but it was a really good race. I'll find out in a sec. I can't remember. And also Gallant Oscar, who's a long-range national fancy for me. I thought he really caught the eye in the handicap hurdle there, staying on really well. I think he's an interesting one. The horse, I've forgotten his name, is called Peace News. He's a French horse that was in Willys and went to Henry de Bromhead's last year. I was really impressed with him. So Peace News and Gallant Oscar, who both ran at Cork on Sunday. Sam,
same question, one for the RP listeners to put in their horse tracker.
Connetable, he ran in a handicap hurdle at Haydock on Saturday. I think he looks well handicapped when he steps up to 3 mile. Maybe he jumps fences next season. And
Mr. Paul Binfield.
Evening Hush, Nick. Won a juvenile hurdle at Exeter. We put her in at 30-3-1 for the Triumph hurdle. That might be a bridge too far, but Evan Williams seems to rate her, and I think there's more races to be won with her in the very near future.
OK, we're going to go for a break, and afterwards we're going to be discussing the Hennessy.
Here's Paddy Power's latest horse racing offer. It's money back as a free bet if your horse finishes second to the SP Fav in all races at one meeting today. And at one meeting every day this month. Max £25 per race, not available in shops. 18+, gambleaware.co.uk.
Right, we've got a brilliant meeting at Newbury coming up fast. It's not just about the Hennessy, though. There's several good supporting races too. Tom, what's the horse or horses that you're most looking forward to over the coming week, if you're just taking the Hennessy out of the equation for a moment?
Well, Thistlecrack. I just can't wait to see him again. I think he's brilliant, and I'm just really looking forward to see if he's learnt from his mistake. I was reading this morning that he schooled nicely with Native River yesterday or this morning or whatever, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him.
And So Royale might be going up to the fighting fifth at Newcastle. Do you see him as a realistic player later on in the season in the Champion, or is he just a fringe part of it?
Fringe.
Okay. And Sam, what about you? You're coming back on Wednesday the 30th, fingers crossed, is that correct?
Yes, hopefully, fingers crossed.
And have you got a few penciled in already to get stuck into?
No, I've asked both Nigel and Paul to see what they've got knocking around. There's a little maiden.
Couple of nice novice chases, Sam?
Yeah, there's a new one still knocking around.
A new one, yeah, I was going to say.
It was quite handy him having his injections. He's waiting. Should be handy. But yeah, there's a maiden hurdle. Sadly, no novice chases that day. But there's a maiden hurdle at Foss Lass, 2.5 miles. So I've asked Paul very nicely. If he can't find it, then I'll have to see what Nigel can dig out.
And Paul, what about you? Anything you're really excited about seeing towards the end of the week?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing a mare of Noel Meads called Bonnie Kate, Nick. This one's 14-1 for the Troy Town Handicap Chase at Navan next Sunday. She likes soft ground, and a test of stamina should be right up her alley. I think if she runs well, we might well see her in the Paddy Power Chase at Leopardstown at Christmas, which obviously we'll be pleased to see, and possibly an Irish Grand National contender later on.
Okay.
Very good, that, Paul. Very good how you got in the Paddy Power Chase there. You're on
Thank
a bonus.
you very much. It's years of experience.
Right, moving on to the Hennessy, I'm going to start with Tom, because this could really cement your theory, this race, that the novice chasers from last season don't match up to the experienced old hands like Smad Place, because we've got the likes of Black Lion, we've got Vita Du Roc. They're your traditional second-season chasers. They're in against a class of Smad Place who's been around years and years and years. Tom, who wins, experience or youth?
Look, I've been a massive Native River fan all his life, and I wouldn't bet against anything but Twiz. I don't like Vita Du Roc. That's the one I don't like at the height of the market. I think on Tompor 2, if the ground's very heavy, I live not far from Newbury and it's not stopped raining for 2 days. I'd be slightly worried about him getting home. 2 I want to ask Sam about is my old friend Saphir and Black Lion for his dad there. I mean, I thought both of them had good chances.
Yeah, to me, I think the 4 miler at Cheltenham has actually worked out better than the RSA.
Yeah.
So like you say, you've got Native River and such, but Saphir Daru seems in great nick. And when you think he was running in it off top weight last year, obviously with Conagry probably going to come out today, he's obviously going to have in the 11 stone somewhere, but he's not going to have to lump around the 11-12 he did last year. So he didn't run too badly at all watching it back. So he'd be potentially very interesting. And Black Lion has come forward from his Charlie Hall chase. I think 3 mile 2 will suit him well. He's a very brave little horse, so hopefully he runs a massive race.
Sam, what was the view of the Ascot run of Saphir Daru? Were Connections pleased with that, disappointed he didn't win, or did they take a lot from it?
I think it was a great starting point, you know. If you look at the race as a whole, he jumped nicely, travelled well, and he finished well from the back of the last. It's 3 mile round Ascot. I think 3-2 round Newbury will suit him stronger again. If you watched the race back last year, if you pause it at the ditch, you think he was nearly going to win, you know. So take that bit of that weight off his back. Hopefully we'll see him go well.
Tom, I just had a point of view about Black Lion. I thought he was a bit of value in the market because he's 1-1 against Native River. They ran against each other, I think, twice last season. One won at Aintree, the other one won at Wetherby. Yeah, Native River's 6-1, and I think Black Lion's double that. Do you think he's a spot of value there?
Yeah, I do. I like Black Lion. I was when I did it a few weeks ago, I'm very keen on Black Lion, but there was sort of the Twiston team was sort of debating whether they might go to Haydock or here, so it was sort of a tricky call to make to back him then. But I do like him, and I know I spoke to Sam on the morning line a couple of weeks ago when he was running at Wetherby, and Sam said he was well forward, but he'll come on for a run. And speaking to Sam there, it sounds like he has come on, and in his history, he's always improved for a run and didn't run too badly at Wetherby. If you watch the race again, he was going well turning for home, and he just seemed to need the run. I think he's got a good chance. I think Newbury on soft ground will suit him. He stays very well.
And Paul, could you give us a latest show on the Hennessy, and then you can give us your views as well?
Yeah, we make Native River the 6-1 favourite, Nick. Earn Tomp for 2, 8-1, along with Vita Du Roc, Saphir Daru, big up from Sam there, 10-1. Black Lion 11-1 and 12-1 bar. Personally, a bit like the Black Lion double the price argument, I quite like Henri Parry Morgan, 14-1, and wasn't far behind Native River, the 6-1 favourite in the Mild Main Novices Chase at Aintree in April. So I think there's a bit of value there. Subsequently unseated Sean Bowen in the Whitbread at Sandown. That was a bit unlucky, but I think 11 of the last 17 winners have been second season chasers, so this one fits the profile along with the favourite.
And what about Smad Place, Tom? Fantastic winner last season, harder task this year surely, but could he put in another fantastic front-running display, or do you think he's vulnerable?
No, he's got an absolutely cracking each-way chance for me, Nick. I thought he was brilliant last year. Newbury, soft ground, 3.25 miles. It's perfect for him. Look, obviously, he's 11 pounds higher in the weights, but he would have won with 21 pounds more last year. I mean, he absolutely bolted up. I think 12-1, I cannot see him being out in the places.
And Sam, have you spoken to Ryan at all? He must be itching to get on Black Line again at the weekend.
Yeah, he can't wait. Look, he actually ran really well first time out. He's never had the best form actually first time out. So really pleased with him. He seems in great nick at home, and I know Ryan can't wait, obviously, to get back on his back.
Okay.
It reminds me, Sam, of that horse years ago. You must have been really little that won for your dad.
King's
That
Road.
was the King's Road, the real strong stayer.
Yeah, God, it was very small back then, but he's all heart, you know. He's by no means, if you saw, he lives in a stable opposite, actually, Bristol to Mai. If you compared the two of them, you'd think, who's the pony that's keeping him company, you know?
Yeah.
He's very, very small, but he's very brave and he loves galloping.
And Sam, since he fell at Cheltenham, I think early on last season, I don't think he's made a mistake since then, has he? And in the RSA Chase, when he needed some big jumps, he really pulled them out. He's so brave.
He's not big, but he'll give you absolutely everything. He tries his best, and I think obviously it's one of those. It's the right race for him, and you find out where you're planning the rest of your season from there.
Right, well, we're coming up to the season of Advent and Christmas, and also Sports Personality of the Year. I've been thrown a bit of a curveball here by being asked to ask you guys who you think might win Spotty this year. Tom, is it anything do you take account of this event? Do you watch it? Are you interested in it? Do you have a bet on it? Do you have a view on who's going to win this year?
I haven't watched it for 25 years, I wouldn't have thought. No, I have absolutely no interest, but surely Andy Murray is 1 to 400 million.
He's got to be, hasn't he? After he won something again yesterday. I'm not really into tennis.
Unless Sam comes back and rides 7 on Boxing Day, 7 winners on Boxing Day.
Oh, too late those before Christmas. He'd have to be in next year's lot. Paul, are you into this reality thing, including Sports Personality? Do you have a market on it? I'm sure you do at Paddy Power.
We do have a market, actually. We make Andy Murray the 1 to 5 favourite. So after what Tom just said, that must be the value of the century. Personally, I think it's rather disappointing that I've got the runners in front of me at the moment up to 200 to 1. There's no one from the world of horse racing in the list, which is disappointing as a racing enthusiast. And I'd love to have seen Dickie Johnson in the betting, one of racing's biggest ambassadors for many years, and finally got the champion title, which was brilliant.
And Sam, is this something you're interested in? And if it's not, give us a name of somebody who you really admire from another sport.
Yeah, actually the first ever year I've been invited, so it would be interesting.
Oh, you're going, are you?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I had an email through this morning. I thought, what's this? And so first ever year I've been invited, so I have to go and have a watch. Like you say, I hearing in the news what Andy Murray achieved last night. It was a massive effort. But I think the rugby players are the ones for me. You know, you look up to what they put themselves through day in, day out. They put themselves massive pressure, and when they perform on the big stage, there's nothing like it.
Did you play any other sports at school, Sam?
I used to play rugby, but sadly everyone grew and I didn't. So it was perfect for being a jockey, but not for a rugby player.
They're nuts, aren't they, those rugby players? Got to be completely mad to play rugby these days. I mean, I'd rather be a jockey.
Well, I've actually watched a film the other day about concussion. It really was quite. It made you sit back and really think. But like you say, those rugby players, they put themselves on the line every day, train hard, and then in those matches, God, it's exhilarating to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah, stick to the riding, Sam. Anyway, thanks to Sam. Thank you very much to Tom, and thanks to Paul Binfield from Paddy Power. This has been the Monday Review Postcast. Don't forget to subscribe and rate us on iTunes, and we'll see you on Friday.
The Racing Postcast in association with Paddy Power. They stream all UK and Irish racing live on your mobile, tablet or PC.